Hey guys, Switchblade Gold here. Hey, I just wanted to make a quick video in response to Boogie, who I will go ahead and link his video in the comments, who was talking about used games. And he made the point that if you kill used games in an effort to destroy companies like GameStop, the casualties are going to be the consumers, especially the low-end consumers. And I wanted to add my 2 cents to that. I was one of those low-end consumers. When I was a kid, my parents gave me a Nintendo Entertainment System for Christmas. And like Boogie was saying in his video, the few games I owned, I either bought used, got like at a pawn shop or something, or I rented. I was a little, when I was a little kid, my parents didn't have a whole lot of money, but they knew how much those game systems meant to me. And so they would help me rent games or buy used games, mostly in pawn shops. I remember, some of my early childhood lessons about how money worked and how savings and everything worked were, going down, putting something at the pawn shop on layaway like a game. I remember I got a Power Glove like that. I saved up money, put it on layaway at the pawn shop, made my payments every week, and eventually I got my Power Glove. And I still have it today, matter of fact. This whole thing about used games, and people like Total Biscuit and Ben over at Penny Arcade, who are thinking that destroying the used game market is going to be good for consumers, are insane. It's not. It's not going to be good for consumers. Yes, predatory sales practices like companies like GameStop, yeah, that's bad. That's bad for everybody overall. But you can't destroy something that's so powerful and so positive for the consumer, like secondary market sales of games and rentals of games, because that's just such a great gateway for people. I mean, I still had to buy, my parents bought the Nintendo Entertainment System. I had to get an N64. Actually, I won an N64 out of a cereal box, but that's a story for a whole nother day. But, I had to buy my PlayStation 2, all my other systems. I rarely had enough money, growing up to buy brand new games. I only really own a handful of games even now that aren't games I bought on Steam on super crazy sales. There are very few games I buy day one because I don't think a lot of games are worth the price that they ask for, and I wait to buy them. If it's a game I'm really excited about, though, I'll buy it new. But that's not how it was when I was a kid. That's not how it was when I was in college. Heck, that's not how it was in my mid-20s. If you kill used games, you kill Switchblade Colt the gamer. I never would have been a gamer. My parents would not have invested in that Nintendo Entertainment System if I couldn't go down to the video store and rent a game. Couldn't go down to the pawn shop and buy a used copy. And later in life it was EB Games and GameStop that I was buying these used copies at. But, those secondary markets, if you kill them, you are going to close the door on so many consumers, so many customers. That, yeah, they're not buying from the publisher direct, but they still have to get their copies somewhere. So someone is buying a copy that is eventually being rented, that's eventually being sold used. And if you try to run your business on 100% brand new sales, and you think that's going to improve the games industry, you're crazy. You are crazy. You're going to have less people buying consoles. You're going to have less people buying copies of games because guess what? Redbox buys games new to rent. Gamefly buys new games to rent. Blue Box buys new games to rent. You kill that, you just lost millions of sales. Well, maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands of sales. And just to think that you don't need all that, that if you somehow get rid of these used games or charge money for used games, that you're going to make that up, you're joking. You're barely going to break even. If that, you're probably going to lose money. And we've already got a problem now where we have this crash in the game industry where this bubble that's blown up is coming crashing down. And you think this is going to help? You think that this boogeyman of used game sales is something, A, that's new, and is this, great demon that's killing the game industry as a whole? You're joking. You're nuts. You are nuts. to the haters, out there who don't like GameStop, who say that getting rid of used games is going to get rid of GameStop, you're crazy. GameStop's still going to be around even without used games. They're going to make less money. They're going to have less stores. They're still going to be there. They're still going to be trying to find ways to make money. And I kind of am a little afraid to see what they do to keep making those profits if they can't do used game sales. Or if the used games have a fee, like the Microsoft thing. I don't know. We'll see. We will see.